What's going on, Raider Nation and others, and thank you for coming back by another episode of the Raider Critique. This is the pregame review against the Indianapolis Colts at home. And this week, wow, we have had a lot of news go on with the Oakland Raiders. Last time I spoke with everybody on this channel was before any of the things that have happened that I'm going to mention. Last time I spoke, we were just sending Donald Penn to injured reserve. Well, now Marshawn Lynch is gone for the year with a groin injury. And either Doug Martin or Jalen Richard or DeAndre Washington, who has been activated, has to step up and fill the shoes of Beast Mode, who has literally been the focal point of our offense this year and the only guy who seemed like that he wanted to play. Also, of course, everybody knows that we have traded Amari Cooper to the Dallas Cowboys for a first-round draft pick in 2019. We have brought up, just in case if anybody hasn't known, we have brought up Marcel Aitman from the practice squad to fill that position. Now, of course, he probably won't be number one. We'll probably be running Martavis Bryant, Jordy Nelson, and Seth Roberts in the slot. But this right here is definitely going to solidify on who our number one wide receiver is going to be in between Jordy Nelson and Martavis Bryant. Only time will tell, and we will see exactly what everything entails this week against the Colts. Our offensive line is banged up. Colton Miller seems to be dealing with some type of injury. They say it could be an MCL or an ACL tear. There's really no telling what it is. But obviously he's just playing through the pain. I mean, there's just been a lot that's gone on with this team in the past week. And while we go into the pregame review, why don't we just go ahead and crunch some numbers with Amari Cooper? And there will be some eyebrow-raising issues when we look at the numbers. Now, of course, I'm no numbers expert, but I figured that we were going to save money by letting him go, but I guess it's not going to come in until next season's cap. So why don't we see why? And we're going to go ahead and hit the intro. Let's go ahead and get this episode started. Thank you again for everybody stopping back by, and for all the new and old subscribers. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. So this is one of the biggest things that has happened this week, is that Amari Cooper was traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a first-round draft pick in 2019. First off, I would like to say to Amari Cooper, if you ever do watch this, hey, I appreciate you being a Raider. Now, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm definitely speaking for myself and saying that I'm sad to see you go. It was a pleasure getting to watch you play. I still see a lot of potential in you. I think you're going to do just fine in Dallas. It's going to be great to actually be able to watch you since I'm in Texas. Be able to watch you a little bit more. But just like looking at Sebastian Janikowski in a Seattle Seahawks uniform, it's going to be hard to watch you play in a different uniform. But I wish you luck in your future endeavors. I hope that you do extremely well in Dallas. I'm really kind of glad that they traded you to an NFC team to where we didn't have to see you. I'm so glad they didn't trade you to a division rival, that's for sure. But once a Raider, always a Raider, and you will always be one of my favorite wide receivers. And I think it was a mistake to let you go, but then again, you were going to make way too much money next season. So let's go ahead and jump into his cap stats and where the Raiders are at in dead money. So welcome back to another episode of the Raider Critique, and I wanted to start off this episode by looking at a few numbers since the Amari Cooper trade. Now our offense, if you guys haven't noticed, is up underneath $100 million. We're at $99,723,010 since the Amari Cooper trade. Our defense even dropped down a little bit at $54,574,711. Now, the reason why I don't have a webcam overlay is to where we can look at this dead money number over here. Now, Amari Cooper is actually, I guess I would say it's actually hurting us, because we didn't really save any money by trading him off after exercising his fifth-year option. And what we're catching in dead money is $6,799,228. I'm going to actually go to Amari Cooper's page here on Over the Cap to take a look. Now, they didn't really change anything from the contract notes. This is the same contract notes he had when he was with Oakland. Amari Cooper signed a 4-year contract with the Raiders on May 8, 2015, worth $22,663,120. Cooper received a $14,742,268 signing bonus. The entire contract is fully guaranteed. The Raiders picked up Cooper's fifth-year option for 2019. The option is worth $13,924,000 and is guaranteed for injury. Now, if he is on the roster on the first day of the 2019 league year, the salary will become fully guaranteed. Well, obviously that didn't happen. Dallas is paying him a base salary of $700,000 for this season, and that leaves us to fit the bill for the rest of what he was supposed to make for the year, I believe. And that's where this number comes in, is the $6,799,228. So when we're at that point, our dead money now looks like this: $17,697,608. Now, I thought trading Amari Cooper was actually going to help the cap space, but from looking at this number, I don't believe it's going to help anything until next season. So, Week 8 is upon us, and this is what I want to call the critiques portion of the tale of the tape. Now, looking at what we're looking at right now, this is a very winnable game for us. As a matter of fact, this is actually a really good matchup. This is probably going to be the best matchup all year with any team that we are going to have. The Indianapolis Colts are 2-5 in the standings. We are 1-5. Their offense is ranked 17th, and our offense is ranked 15th. Their defense is ranked 21st, and our defense is ranked 26th. Their passing offense is 13th, ours is 10th, and their rushing offense is 22nd, and ours is 25th. Now, without Marshawn Lynch, I don't expect us to be running the ball that well. And with all the turmoil that has happened with this team this year, we're obviously going to have to jump into the Raiders' keys to winning this week. And we need to take care of all these keys and then some to be able to come out on top on this game. The first key is Doug Martin needs to run over 3 yards per carry. We need a good, outstanding output from our running backs with Marshawn Lynch down. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If we can't run the ball, we're not going to be able to set up the pass. Okay? Number 2, our offensive line needs to pass block. All right, everybody has been coming down on Derek Carr, but you really can't fault Derek Carr when you're getting a second and a half to throw the football. You need at least 2 seconds to set your feet and throw. Everybody knows that. And when it comes to 3 and 5-step drops, you need a little bit longer. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous how everybody's coming at Derek Carr when nobody is blocking. We're having all kinds of offensive line issues, and we need the offensive line to step up. Jordy Nelson and Martavis Bryant need to get open. Now, with the absence of Amari Cooper, more than likely our slot wide receiver is going to be in between Seth Roberts and newly called up Marcel Aitman, number 88, from our practice squad. We are going to need a good, outstanding effort from our wide receivers to get open, to create some separation, and catch the ball. You know what I mean? Because without that, we're not going to win this game. We need better play calls on the offense. Okay? We need to mix it up a little bit more. We need to get a little bit more creative. Now, I don't know on whether John Gruden's calling these plays. Everybody tends to think that John Gruden is the one calling these plays, and I just believe that he's actually taking the heat. So, he's already lied to us about everything else. Why wouldn't he be lying to us about how he's calling the plays or how he brought in his old playbook? I don't see very many dual set backs like I used to see back in 2001, 2002. Okay, I'm not seeing very many pro set setups. No pro set formations. Hardly. We're definitely not running the same exact offense that we were running back in 1998. We're running a lot of single back sets. And I don't understand it. We need better play calls. We need to run the ball on the 1-yard line with Marshawn. But guess what? Now we don't have Marshawn, so what are we going to do? I just hope that we can figure out a way to work in the tight ends, because we're going to need Jared Cook, and don't be looking them straight down. You're going to have to look off of them and then come back to them, because everybody's expecting you to throw it to Jared Cook, especially since he's the one that you've developed the chemistry with, Derek Carr. If we can take care of these 5 things, I believe that we can come out on top of this. So here we are, it's week 8, and with their 2-5 record and our 1-5 record, I'm hoping that we can pull this game out. But, only time will tell on how this team is going to react with all the roster moves that we've made for money, and everybody coming down on the team, everybody coming down on the quarterback. It's going to be very interesting to watch them this week to see exactly how they can produce. And I'm hoping that we do it. And we pull this game out, and we do everything that we need to do to win, and we pull this game out 24-21. Now, this is what I'm hoping happens. But if this team falls apart, and this is the same team that we've been seeing for the past, since the start of the season, I don't know if we're going to win this game. But if we're going to win a game, this is going to be the game that we are going to win this year. We have a chance here. We have a chance with the 49ers. We need to definitely win those games. Because if not, if we play the way that we've been playing since the beginning of the season, I don't know why that's not moving. It could wind up like this. It could definitely wind up like this if we don't play football. Now, we can go over how John Gruden has completely gutted this football team, but everybody's talking about that, But we could point the blame here. But I'll tell you where the hell we can't point the blame that everybody is pointing the blame at, and I'm sorry, Raider Nation, but I do believe that this needs to be addressed, is quarterback Derek Carr. Everybody seems to have an issue with this guy right here, but I'm hoping that you guys can see the stats down here that I have copied and made for this backdrop. But if you actually can focus in between last year and this year, Derek Carr has 233 attempts with 167 completions with a 71.7% completion percentage. Okay? His attempts per game is 38.8, with his yards being at 1,783 with a 7.7 average per pass. His yards a game average is 297.2 with 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Okay? His longest pass is 66 yards. He has 24 completions of 20 yards and beyond and 4 completions of 40 yards and beyond. 17 sacks for 97 yards for a quarterback rating of 89.4. Now, if you look down at last year, I'm going to focus in on just a couple of stats, and that is his sacks and his sack yards. He was sacked 20 times last year for 101 yards. He's already been sacked just as many times this year as he was last season through 16 games, and we're only halfway through the season. How can you guys blame this guy for what he's done throughout this year when he has no time to throw the football? The dude's getting hit every time he snaps the ball. And everybody wants to worry about how he's crying on the football field, but nobody's understanding that the reason why he has 7 touchdowns and 8 interceptions is because he's been sacked just about as many times through 8 games this season than he did throughout the whole 16 games of last year. I'm sick of this shit. Everybody needs to look at the facts. Derek Carr may have regressed a little bit, but it's because the offensive line's not blocking. Yes, his throwing motion doesn't look the same, but then again, when you go through 3 major injuries, is your throwing motion going to be the same? No. You're not going to be the same person when you've had back injuries, a foot injury, and whatever. I believe now it's a shoulder injury. So, I mean, you guys need to cut this dude some slack. He's getting lit up back there. Nobody's blocking. Lee Smith called it, and I want to reach out to Lee Smith. I think that was a hell of a thing you did, because unfortunately, most of the Raider Nation doesn't believe it. They believe that you have regressed so bad that we need to trade you. Well, if you don't straighten your game up, and you don't learn how to be mobile, and get yourself out of the pocket and get down, and stop being afraid of getting hit. I know it hurts. I couldn't handle anybody 265 pounds running at me full speed, running a 5.4 40, lighting me up. But then again, I don't get paid $25 million a season or for a contract to have that happen to me. So, I mean, I really can't comment on that, but I can comment on the aspect of why his numbers look so bad. They're not blocking for him. They're not blocking for him at all. So anyway, this has been your pregame episode for Week 8 against the Indianapolis Colts at home. And I hope you guys tune in for the post-game video, because I would like to touch on something else that nobody else is talking about. And when I mean nobody else, I mean mainstream media's not talking about it. Mikey's not talking about it. Murph's not talking about it. Nobody else is talking about it. So, you know, I'm be honest with you, I'm getting sick and tired of talking about what everybody else is talking about. But I did believe that this needed to be addressed because, dude, Homeboy is getting lit up, man. And how can you expect Holmes to do anything when he doesn't have any time to throw the football? So anyway, this is the Raider Critique, man. I'm signing out. See you guys next video. And I want to thank everybody for subscribing. We have crossed the 100 subscriber mark, which I'm actually extremely proud of. I didn't think that I would get to 100 this fast. As you guys know, I have been around a while, but I've never pushed this channel. As a matter of fact, a lot of you are just now hearing about me, and it's actually because I dedicated my time and effort into this channel instead of doing the mediocre stuff that I was doing in the past. And I do want to thank all of you, because if it wasn't for any of you, I wouldn't have hit 102 subscribers. It feels real good that 100 people out there want to hear the opinion that I have. And for that, I am greatly appreciative of it. Raider Nation for life. Let's get this next game.